Welcome back, everybody, to the NARPM Radio podcast. And like promised, I have Kobi Bensimon with Showdigs here. So, Kobi, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So, before we get into streamlining automation and all that good stuff that I want to talk to you about, I do want to know a little bit about what exactly is Showdigs, what what challenge or pain point does it solve for property managers, and how'd you come up with the idea?
Sounds good. So I started Showdigs in 2019 after spending more than a decade building tools for property managers, mostly in the multifamily space. My previous company got acquired by RealPage, and working for RealPage, I really got to see the industry from a high level, and I got really excited about the challenges, but also the opportunities in the single family rental space. As you
What division did you work in for RealPage?
So my previous company was called Active Building. We built the first resident portal. Think about the tool tenants in big apartment communities used to interact with their property manager on site. And at RealPage, I was the VP over the resident services division. Basically, anything consumer touch, from shopping for new apartments to applying to signing a lease, moving in, and then all the services they need as a tenant until they either move out or renew their lease. Um,
Okay,
so
so
yeah,
you're at RealPage and you come up with this. You see this huge challenge for property managers, and he's like, I can solve that with Showdigs. So take me through that. What were you seeing, and how'd you come up with the idea in 2019?
Yeah, so we saw that, this space of single family rentals becoming very hot. People who used to buy their starter home in today's world having to rent their starter home. So we're seeing a lot of demand from people to move out from apartments, having to rent their starter home. And talking to those traditional, property managers, just like those represented by NARPM, uh, the number one challenge, they said, it's hard for them to scale. They get to 200, maybe 400 unit, and it's really hard for them to scale. And when you dive into why, right, geography is a problem. 400 unit all in one high rise, easy to manage, right? You just put a few people in the leasing office, a piece of cake. Take those 400 units, scatter them on the metro area. Now, how do you manage it, right? You have to drive all over. Your folks are not efficient. They're in traffic all day long. So the idea was, how can we use technology to bring multifamily efficiency to single family operation? That's kind of was the motto. Showdigs, when it started in 2019, we looked around. We saw what companies like DoorDash and Ubers are doing for restaurants, right? If you look back before those days, every restaurant had the same problem, had to hire their own small delivery team, put them in cars. They can only bring so many meals, only in a 10-mile radius usually, which is, how property managers, look at themselves. They can only manage in a 2-mile radius. And then DoorDash comes along and say, this is inefficient. Let's build a delivery crew. Let's have hundreds of deliveries. Let's let every restaurant tap into those gig workers. And now, as a restaurant owner, you don't have to have your own team. You don't have to worry about delivery. You can deliver as many meals as you can sell. And we started Showdigs with the same idea. Let's build in select market. Let's build an boots on the ground operation, and let any property manager tap into them. So now they want to show a vacancy, they want to put the lockbox, they want to go take pictures, do a move-in report. Instead of having their team spending all day long driving, all over the city, they can tap into hundreds of qualified, trained people and just pay for the fractional time that they use for that resource. So that was the idea behind Showdigs. We started with the leasing. Leasing is very manual, right? If you think about that period between a tenant moving out to the new tenant moving in, it's a few weeks, somewhere between 4 and 8 weeks, where property managers have a lot of reasons to get in the car, drive across town. Maybe it's to do the move out report or take pictures for the listing or show prospective tenant, do open houses, and meet the new tenant. That's like on average, sometimes more than 10, 12 trips to that property. And we said, let's automate the whole thing. Let's let
Yeah.
property managers sit in one city, lease a property across the street or across the state or across the country without having to leave their desk. And
When I was running Empire, that was the number one biggest challenge that we had was that turn process from when the resident moves out to going out there doing the move out inspection, putting the sign out, putting the lockbox out, scheduling the maintenance team, going out and checking on the maintenance team to see if everything was done, doing the move-in report, right? Then going out and showing, right? I mean, I just named 7 steps
yeah,
that, and each step multiple. Right? And then how many times did you lose a key or, the sign got stolen or whatever, and you're going back out there and back out there. And my property manager used to do all that. And what would happen is, just like you said, Houston, lots of traffic, huge area. They would drive, let's say they work 6 hours to go see 1 or 2 homes. Now they get back late at night, and now all those phone calls from the day is just piled up. All those emails are piled up, and now they have to work all day. And now all of our clients are upset because they didn't get the phone call back until the next day, right? And so, and and if you have to go to 2 or 3 days in a row to go look at properties, now you're working weekends and nights, and all of a sudden your property manager are really stressed out, and they have to live in the neighborhood that they're servicing because they actually have to go to the properties, which you brought on another great idea, which is you have virtual property managers living across the country or across the world. So amazing. So tell me a little bit about. All right, so that's a problem you're solving. How do you fix it? Like how'd you come up with the idea? How'd you fix it? Like what's the process?
the big aha moment was when I realized, and that's actually the day I went and started the company. So I realized that workforce that we talked about already exists. There's 3 million licensed real estate agents in this country. They're all local. They live in every street, in every neighborhood in the United States. They are trained to their day job, right? What they're trained at is to sell and buy properties. But they're a perfect fit in terms of their skills, in terms of their education to help property managers. And we figured if we can harness those real estate agents, connect them in a very easy platform, very Uber platform to the two property managers, they can be a great replacement for that in-house team that is always, struggling. And so we went out, we reached out to real estate agent. We started back in 2019, just in Seattle. It was our first market. We got a couple hundred of those agents walking around with our app on their phone, so we tracked their location. And then we started working with property managers and offer them to handle the showings for them. Showings was the first service we took off their hand. So anytime a prospect inquired about a property, we said, hey, can you see the house within an hour? And we knew that between those 200 agents walking around in Seattle, we'll find someone ready to drop what he's doing, go meet that prospect, do the showing, and get paid, a flat fee. We pay those agents between $20 and $30 a flat fee, and and that's how Showdigs started, right? So now you're a property manager. You can sit anywhere in the world, and you know your prospect. The moment they find your house on Zillow, someone responds to them. Someone is offered to show them the home. Someone is meeting them, a licensed, active real estate agent is meeting them in front of the door, and you just pay for what you use. So
So
summer,
let me pause you there real quick because I got a
yeah,
ton of questions here. All right. So normally if I'm in a market like Houston, that's where I live, when we had somebody show, we actually had to split that commission 50-50 with the
yeah,
so we get 1 month's lease. Now I know that's not everywhere, but we get 1 month's lease and we have to pay a commission. Are you telling me with the Showdigs platform, they just every time they show they get $20, or only when it closes they get $20, or do they get $20 when they show and then they get paid again when it closes?
yeah. We didn't want to go back to the days where you had to pay commissions and fees. We wanted to just move the property management business from a fixed cost employees that you have to pay a salary and benefits and mileage and expenses to a variable cost. So the way we work with all our agents, they just get paid for the task they're doing. They go out to do a
Got it.
showing, they get paid. They go out to put a lockbox, they get
Yeah.
paid for that time. They do a move-in report, we pay them for the time it took them. And every task we estimate what it should take, right? A good showing should not take more than 30 minutes. A move-in report should take around an hour. So everything is based on flat fees. The agent, just like an Uber driver, the moment he finishes work, he fills up a report, everything he learned about the place, all the pictures he took, if it's an inspection type gig, and on the spot we pay them. So they're willing to for them it's great. They supplement their income. They have some steady
Quick bucks.
income that yeah that doesn't depend on any deal closing. And for a property management, think about it. If you have two showing agents, it means that even in the middle of the summer, you can only show two houses at any given moment.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
very limited capacity.
You're leveraging all the realtors in your area to go ahead and open doors. Now, the other thing you said is like they do the showings. Now, there are, some companies out there like Show Mojo, Tana
Mhm.
Turner that do self showings. So is this something that would replace the self showing, or is this like I can do self showings, and if somebody does want to be shown, I can go ahead and get and have a showing agent?
Yeah, today with Showdigs, we offer the most flexible platform out there. So over the years, we added support both on the technology side and on the agent side uh, to really give our property managers full flexibility. So if on a certain house in a certain neighborhood, a property manager feel this is a good fit to do self-guided tours, we have all the tools they need, all the software with the smart lock boxes to handle that for them. On the other hand, if he has a very expensive home, or maybe a home in a neighborhood that's a bit sketchy, or they have a landlord that doesn't feel comfortable doing a self-guided tours, they can use agents for that. Whether their own team, our software knows how to schedule them, connect to their calendar, or more often in our case, those gig economy realtors that are happy to do the work for a flat fee. So really, we give our clients the full flexibility to handle showing on a per property basis. Because a
Got it.
$5,000 mansion and $1,000 studio, you can't treat them the same, right?
Yep. So that gives you a lot of flexibility. Now, there are more and more cases that I'm hearing about in the industry of fraud and squatters and things of that nature. What is your take on that, and how do you prevent that stuff?
Yeah, unfortunately, scammers are everywhere, and they've been scamming people off Craigslist for years now. But usually, they were like,
I'm still waiting for my money from Prince Nairobi from
yeah.
Nigeria. He's going to give me $1 million anytime soon.
Yeah, yeah, and our industry has been plagued with that for a while. But now that self-guided tours became so popular, those scammers became sophisticated, and they realized they can very easily get access to a key and then show people homes, move them in, and not a week goes by that I don't hear a poor property managers telling me how he went and visited property just to find that a property that was supposed to be vacant, just to find a family living there. And they have a lease that they think is valid, and they paid security deposit and rent, and now now go start the eviction process, and it's a real pain. So self-guided tour, very efficient, very cost effective, but people have to be careful. Use tools to validate who you're giving the keys to. I can tell you at Showdigs, for example, the most effective things we're doing is the moment you list the property on our platform, we start monitoring Craigslist and Facebook, because all those scammers, the way they start, they put the fake ad on. Nowadays, Facebook is the #1 destination for them, and they try to trick people to contact them instead of the real landlord or property manager. So we work both with Craigslist and Facebook. We monitor their platform. The minute we see an ad that we know is fake, we work directly with those platforms to take it off. Also important, validate people identity. Make sure you don't just collect an ID. Check that ID. Is it fraud? Is it stolen? Is it match the person who's trying to book the tour? And most importantly, when you have those houses on the vacant and on self-showing, go check on them. Visit them at least every few days. Make sure people are aware that you're there. No one's trying to move in. If you catch this early, you can avoid a lot of pains later on.
And that's
With
another
our
thing that we can use the platform for is to have your agents just go out there and just do a health check, so to speak, on the house.
Yeah, and that's a very, very common use case. Our clients who do utilize self-guided tours, they will often ask, just use our platform. They only have to check a box. And once a week, our platform will automatically find a realtor in the neighborhood and just ask them to go do a health check. And it costs them nothing. Like for $40, they can have someone go check it, check the lockbox, enter the home, and that way we can catch any problems very, very early.
How do the
So
lock boxes and signs work? Do they have to come to your office and grab them, or how does that typically work?
yeah, we support many types of lock boxes, again, depending on the use case. For our agents, they can access home in any way that the property managers feel is easy.
Do they use their lockbox, the
They
agent?
usually use their lockboxes because they
Okay.
have it there is
Right.
ready for the whoever moves out to drop their keys. If they need an agent to drop a lockbox, we can schedule an agent to stop by their office, pick a lockbox, go drop it on the property. Like anything, it's just a flat fee.
Is it
And
typical that if I have an agent, like if I'm at 123 Elm, and the agent is close by, typically they're going to be the ones that do the health checks. Is it going to be the same agent most of the time, for the property? Because they just, they're the ones that claim that, or is it going to be one agent goes 1 week, another agent goes another week, just depending on their availability? How does that typically work?
yeah, we check with the agent. Um, One of the reasons the agent like working with us because they don't have to commit ahead of time, block their calendar. For an agent, if they have a buyer all of the sudden or a seller, that immediately takes precedent.
Mhm.
So just again, we copied Uber here. When we know we have an appointment in the house, whether it's a showing or a check, uh, just an hour before the scheduled time, we'll see who's in a 2-3 mile radius and check if they're available. It will be usually the same group of realtors that hang out in that neighborhood,
Mhm.
but every time maybe someone different in that group is going to be available and ready to collect the gig. So we can't promise our clients ahead of time who is going to visit there, but they know they get the same type of service on the same format, no matter which one of our agents pick up the
That's
work.
really cool. How many markets are y'all in right now?
We are now in 15 cities across the country, working with 3,500 agents in those cities. Um, and we're just getting started, so it's a very, very exciting time for us here.
Yeah. You need to work with NAR, see if you can get them to endorse you, and that'd be take off
Yeah,
like wildfire.
yeah.
All right. So we talked about the leasing side of things, right? So just to recap, you're saving your team as a property manager. I'm saving tons of windshield time. And I don't have to be in the same town or city that I manage the property. Um, I get a licensed agent that can walk the property weekly or every other week. They can show, they can put on the lockbox, a sign. I'm guessing not signs. I'm guessing we have to put our own
Yeah,
sign in, or they can go get to sign at one of our units. I mean,
yeah.
at our office. All right, but can they do inspections too, like or assessments, right? Because that's the other big one. So, like, yeah, great. Like they put the lockbox on, but I still have to do a move-in assessment or a move-out assessment. So let's talk about move-ins first. Can they do a move-in assessment?
Yeah, so we train them on three type of assessment.
Okay.
And they get the training, and then our software really guides them. So no matter which one of those agents pick up the work, he follows the exact same template. So the first assessment we started with is the move in and move out. It's the same assessment for us. The house is empty. The property manager gives us like a 4 hour window when we can come in and really document every inch of the house. So room by room, we take in total close to 300 pictures, uh, exterior, interior, basements, the whole 9 yards. So if ever there's a question, what was the state before and after a tenancy, you have everything documented. The second assessment we added, and that wasn't even on our roadmap, but so many of our clients ask us, is those annual walkthroughs. And that doesn't have anything to do with leasing, but they're a big pain for property managers. Scheduling them with
The scheduling is a pain in the rear.
Yes. So nowadays, our clients give us a list for the quarter, say, here's all the houses I want you to inspect this quarter. We contact the tenant. They have everything is, software based. They pick a 2 hour window where they're home and can meet an agent. We then match an agent who goes, knocks on the door, introduce himself as a realtor who came to inspect. They spend 45 minutes on average documenting, 4 or 5 pictures of every room, check the smoke detector, check the HVAC filter, and and that way for the property manager, we took that whole task off their plate. We charge them a flat fee that they can then charge back to their landlords if they want to, and now they never have a backlog. So that's been one of our most popular services, and
And
it's such a great
I'm
fit.
assuming you can schedule stuff on the weekends or off
Yeah,
after hours, right? So limitations that we have as a property management company is like our people like to work Monday through Friday, right? 9 to 5 or 9 to whatever. So it's hard to get to these properties on weekends when people are home. Of course, after 2020, a lot more people are home because they work from home. But before that, for sure, it was really hard. So now these agents, they'll go in the evenings, they'll go on the weekends if that.
yeah, they actually prefer Saturday, Sunday. If you know realtor, that's the day when they're out and about doing their open houses, meeting their buyers. So for them, that's the perfect time to, fit in one of those assessments. And they would work until 8 p.m. every day. They will work, Saturdays, Sundays. So we can inspect hundreds of houses for every one of our property managers in a matter of weeks. And the third assessment is those health checks, drive-by, very lightweight. Usually our clients order them on the spot. Hey, I just got the phone call that the door was left open or a window seems to be broken. On the spot, we send an agent. They spend, 20 minutes walking the backyard, the front yard, entering the home, checking that not everything is secure, water is not running, the HVAC is on the right temperature that the property manager wants it, and very quickly send back a report to the PM. So now if you get that, scary call and you feel like, oh, I need to drop everything,
Yeah.
cancel my appointment, drive all across town, now you know you have a realtor that's right there and can take care of that for you.
That's brilliant. I mean, you get, oh, there's somebody's, saying that there's a door got kicked in. Like, man, that house is an hour and a half from me. Now I got to
Yeah,
stop what I'm doing. I got to go drive minimum of 3 hours before, to get there and back without traffic. Yeah. So, I mean, that's brilliant. So I put in a ticket with the Showdigs. They beep out to all their agents. Somebody picks it up and they're there in 10 minutes.
yeah. And
You look like a
90% of the
superhero.
time, the agent is 2 miles away or 5 miles, 2 to 5 miles away. That's usually the radius that our agents are in. So that's
Wow.
why they're willing to do the job in the last minute and for a very low flat fee, because for them it's, I didn't have anything to do at the moment anyway. Let me just take that and make a quick
So
income.
Kobe, you and I kind of we're kind of similar where like I own VPM Solutions now. I ran Empire Industries with 23 virtual team members and less than 10 US based team members, right? We had 980 something doors, three markets. And so I'm a big fan of, leveraging virtual talent. And what you're doing is you're just taking the Uber model and you get to leverage virtual talent. What I love about your model is I only pay as I need. I pay as I go,
Yeah,
right? Like there's no like you're not charging me $1 per door or whatever. I have probably a small minimum monthly fee, and then I just whatever I need, I just go ahead and I just kind of order it a la carte, and people are there within minutes. And so what I always look at is like, yeah, I can go do it myself and I can quote unquote save money, but I just wasted 6 hours of my day, or worse, one of my property managers, or I can pay somebody 30, $40 to go
yeah,
look at that property or go do whatever I have to do. And they can do it in like 10, 15 minutes. And so how powerful is that as a property manager? Your owner, how about when the owner calls you because the neighbor called them because something happened to the house? And now I'm like, I can't get out there today. I got all these other things going on. I get out there tomorrow. Whereas I can just, man, put an order in and you have somebody out there in 30 minutes.
yeah,
That's powerful. That's really
yeah.
powerful.
And think about how better fit this is to the seasonality in our business, right? For property managers, they never have enough stuff in the summer,
That's right.
not to talk about people wanting to take some time off during the summer. But then in the winter, they have extra capacity. Now we're telling them, pay for what you use. Summer, you have more work, you pay more. Come December, you have no leasing activity, your bill is going to be zero at the end of the month. So it's a really match well with how property management naturally works. And so, we're very excited about this model. It's working amazingly well in other industries, right? I mentioned the restaurants and food deliveries and other
Yep.
deliveries. And
Even
I think,
Amazon's doing it now.
yeah,
Amazon's
everyone.
doing it, right? Yeah. So, all right, let me ask you this. You said you're in about 15 markets. So name a few states and city and markets that you're in, if you don't mind. And I'm sure there's a list on your website that has all the markets, I'm guessing.
Yeah, yeah. And those markets, we update them all the time as we get more demand from property managers. But on the West Coast, we're in Seattle, Portland, Denver, Bay Area. We just started in Southern California, that whole stretch between LA and San Diego.
Okay.
On the East Coast, Orlando, Atlanta, old San Antonio in Texas, Phoenix. So really, we are targeting the big SFR markets, but still, long way for us to go. And every time we have enough demand from property managers, we take the time, we go hire the first cohort of those real estate agents, train them, and then open the services there.
I think this is huge for all types of PM companies, right? Whether you're managing 30 homes on your own, 50 homes on your own, or if you're got a whole department full of property managers, and you got 1,000 single family homes on your own. This is a great way to leverage. And what I like about it is the talent is they're realtors, right? So at least they're licensed, right? So they're vetted, they're licensed, and they're in our industry, which is great. Is there one other thing that you could think of before we go to a commercial break that you can, that Showdigs takes off of property managers? So we got frustration, we got leverage, we got dollars amount, we got speed to get things done. So it's amazing idea and product you came up with. It really, really is amazing.
I'll just want to mention one of the things I'm surprised many of my clients tell me how easy it is to make new sales, right, to new landlords having Showdigs, because how many property managers today can tell a prospective landlord, we are going to show your house 7 days a week, 9 to 8 p.m. on demand, right? An hour notice using licensed realtors, right? No one can say that today.
Yeah.
But if you have a team like us and you tap into those network of realtors, that's the reality. So landlords love it. They feel special. They feel that they're taken care of. Their listing is not going to sit on the market for more than it needs to. And everything is done by licensed realtors, which is a big advantage for them. So
I had an owner once, and he didn't want me to quote unquote manage the home. Like he didn't want to rent it out, but he wanted us to go by there once a week just to get the mail, to check it out, to make sure everything was alive and survived. And like it was my field techs had to go do that, and it was kind of a pain. But if I had show digs at the time, I would literally just put in, hey, well, how much is it going to be? $50? I charge him $60 or whatever. I make a little bit of money, and they go ahead and basically
yeah,
build a report for me. So I could have used you guys back then.
yeah, amazing.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, and then we're gonna put you on the lightning round. So all right, everybody, we'll be right back with more with Kobe from Showdigs. We'll be right back. All right, everybody. We're gonna put Kobe on the hot seat. Are you ready? The lightning round.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. All right. Do you use virtual assistants in your business?
I do. We have virtual assistant to handle a lot of the questions we get from prospective renters. One of our services is when we handle leasing, we handle all the communication with prospective renters, and we utilize a group of virtual assistants to do that, and we've been very happy with it.
What is one piece of advice you would give someone who's just starting out in business?
Uh, think not as what you need today, but think where you want to be. If you have 10 doors right now that you need to manage, already think as if you have 200 doors, and build your processes and systems as if you have 200 doors, because that will ensure you'll get there. If you always think about today, you never get to tomorrow. That's kind of my experience.
Does pineapple belong on pizza?
No, absolutely not.
You're one of my better friends now. What was your first job?
My first job out of college, I'm a software engineer in my background. I worked for a company that built chips, computer chips that went into routers and communication devices. Um, our clients were companies like Cisco at the time, and that was the late
Wow.
1990s. and it was all about communication and getting internet everywhere in the world.
So
So I
crazy.
went a long way.
I used to be a Cisco certified engineer, and my guess is I probably used one of your chips that you designed
Yeah, I'm pretty
back in
sure.
the I was there in the mid to late 90s, early 2000s. So
Yeah,
interesting, small
small
world.
world.
Yeah. What is your ideal vacation?
Oh, I like urban vacation. Give me like a week to stroll around Paris or Madrid or any one of those classic cities and just try to imagine I live there and I eat at the local places and go see a show at evening and walk the parks. I love the urban energy and lifestyle.
What is one thing that most people don't know about you?
About me, wow, now you got me there. Um, I'm originally from Israel. I had a military career that people are not aware of. As an infantry soldier, I was a platoon commander back in the day in the Israeli force.
Oh
Uh,
man, Kobe's a
so
badass.
so I have a sweet spot for veterans and people that serve, and yeah, I don't talk about it much, but it's kind of been there in my history.
Got it. All right. What is one book you have read or currently reading that has impacted your business or life?
Uh, um, I'm not reading a lot of business book the way I used to. I'm reading a book now called Trust by Hernan Diaz. And it's about how money moves the world and moves our lives and the cons and pros of our capitalistic way of life. And it's really making me think about how I live my life, how I run my business. So very recommended. It won the Pulitzer Prize, I think, 2 years ago. So
Trust. Do you remember the author?
Hernan Diaz.
Hernan Diaz. Okay, trust. All right. What is one challenge you're currently facing in your business?
Um, Well, we have a lot of challenges like every business. For us, educating property managers, taking them through that mental gap of moving from, owning their team, controlling them, hiring them, to a virtual kind of a gig-based workforce. It's not an easy task, right? It takes a lot of
Yep.
education and easing into it.
Just like
So
property managers have to educate the public on, on property management. Yeah.
yes, yes.
All right.
So I feel with our realtor side of the business being a breeze, they love it. Many of them also drive for Uber on their spare time, so the whole concept is very familiar. But with property managers, it takes more. And that issue we talked about scammers, it's kind of a constant cat and mouse game we play, trying to find out how our clients are getting scammed and how we can utilize technology to prevent that. And it's like a constant a process that we deal with every day.
All right. Final question. You prefer dogs or cats?
I'm a cat person myself.
All right.
Two cats here at the house, and
All right. You're
uh,
off the lightning round. Okay.
nice.
So if somebody wants to learn more about Showdigs or reach out to you, what's the best way they can contact you?
Our website, showdigs.com, is easy to access. Hello@showdigs.com, that will reach me and my team. Um, we are at all the NARPM events, so you can just walk to our booth. So no shortage of ways to get in touch.
Awesome. And if you're listening to this and you haven't joined NARPM, why not join NARPM? Go to narpm.org, narpm.org, or call them at 800 782-3452. And if you are looking for remote team, look at vpmsolutions.com. And if you're looking to hire somebody remotely, whether they're Mexico, Costa Rica, Central America, wherever, vpmsolutions.com. It's free for you. The way we make money is we charge the VA 10% of what they make. Kobi, awesome job today. Thank you so much. See you, everybody.
Thank you, Pete. Bye.